Hello and welcome to the Martial Breath. For this video we're going to take a look at some standing Qi Gong from the Baguazhang system, very similar to the way we did the 3-circle Qi Gong from the Tai Chi. Now when we set up, we have the feet together, we open the toes 45 degrees, kick the heels out to straighten up. The only difference with the Baguazhang Standing Qi Gong is that we just widen the stance ever so slightly. So about 3 inches to the side or about a foot's width, just take it out to the side, and that's where the feet sit for the entirety of the Qi Gong. We still bend the knees so they go over the toes, tuck the tailbone under, keep the back nice and straight, pull the chin in, press the tongue against the hard palate. Now for the first palm, we're going to bring the hands out into the 3-circle Qi Gong. The only difference is we're going to turn the palms upwards. So in this position, this is heaven palm, and it's represented by the lion. The hands should be in line with the shoulders or thereabouts. And you're just going to stretch the fingers slightly so you make space between them, and that should bring a lot more energy to those palms. For number 2, we're going to turn the palms over. We're going to move into this yin shape, so the hands are going to be flexed at the wrists. The palms are going to be facing down towards the floor, and this is number 2, or earth palm, and it's represented by the monkey. Number 3, we extend the wrists at the same height, the palms face away from us. This is going to be fire, and it's represented by the hawk. Now for number 4, we do something very similar to the 3-circle Qi Gong. The only difference is we're going to lift the palms ever so slightly. So instead of sitting in front of the chest, we're going to be more towards the base of the chin or the mouth. So number 4 palm is going to be thunder, and it's represented by the dragon. Now as we drop down, we're going to turn the hands slightly yang. They're going to sit just in front of the solar plex. The palms face towards each other with the fingers pointing forwards. This is going to be air, and it's going to be represented by the phoenix. Now moving into number 6, we go back to a yin palm as we drop them down. The hands sit just in front of the dantian or the belly button. This is going to be water, and it's represented by the snake. Now for number 7, we're going to bring the hands back up in front of the chest. We're going to chamber the wrists into this yang position again. If you notice that we're pulling the thumb back towards the forearm, so almost like doing 2 chops forwards, but the palms still face towards each other. This is going to represent the mountain, and the animal reference is going to be the bear. So for the last one, we're going to turn the palms all the way in. This is going to be an extreme yin position. We're going to try to twist the forearms so the back of the palms are almost touching with the slight gap. The elbows come in towards the center just to create that space. This is going to be clouds, and it's going to be represented by the unicorn. We first start by practicing each of these palms in isolation. So you can stand for 1 minute. After you've set your base, the hands come away from your body, and then you can start with number 1, and then you slowly just work through the palms. So you can set a timer. You can go from number 1 to number 2, which is palm down. Number 3, the palms face forwards. Number 4, you lift ever so slightly, almost like your 3-circle Qi Gong, just slightly higher. Number 4, you drop the hands down to solar plex level, the fingers pointing forwards and palms facing inwards. Number 6 is going to be just down in front of the dantian. Number 7, you're going to lift back up to the chest, but chamber those wrists so the little finger is right at the front of that chop. And then number 8, you're going to roll those forearms all the way in and just hold that position. Now number 8 is going to be the most difficult because it requires slightly more body tension than the rest. But just try to practice them in isolation first. Stand for a minute or so, just breathe the same way that we would in the 3-circle Qi Gong. And then we're going to develop it into combining all of these palms into one long static Qi Gong. So just for a few tips when holding this Qi Gong, you'll find that with the different palm positions, you find tension in different areas of the body. Now this is quite important because that's what's going to help to channel the energy to various places in the body. One thing that you've always got to be wary of is making sure that there's a gap under the armpit or the upper quad. The legs are fixed for the lower quad, which is the gap between the knees. So from the upper body, you want to make sure that the elbows don't drop to the side, especially when the arms start to get tired. So now we need to move it into transitioning between them. So as you start to breathe through your Qigong, you can either do this for a certain number of breaths, or you can set a timer. If you have 8 rounds and you have the beep going off, then every time you hear the beep, you can just switch to the next palm. So working on the transition is really, really important, because it's the transition that will tend to pull you out of your meditative state and make it much more difficult for you to feel the benefits of this Qigong. As just a flow exercise, first of all, learn the palm positions so you know them off by heart. And then we're just going to slowly work through with the breathing so you can make those transitions nice and smooth. Set your body up so you can get the practice with the legs, setting the body shape so everything from the base is perfectly sound, and then we can start to work with the arms. Okay, so every time you breathe in, you want to start the change, and then you breathe out into your final position. So if we start in a very neutral 3-circle Qigong posture, we're going to breathe in, just let the hands loosen off, scoop the hands to make a rounded movement, and breathe out as you push forwards into palm number 1. Now, again, when you finish the end of your cycle of your breathing, breathe in, let the hands drop, and then breathe out, push into number 2. For number 3, you're going to breathe in, and then just get a slightly forward momentum as you push forwards and just present the palms to the front. Number 4, breathe in, let the hands drift towards the body, and then as you breathe out, just drill the arms forwards so you get that forwards intent, and also you're focusing that energy to head down towards the fingertips. So number 5, breathe in. This is a bit easier because the hands are naturally going to drop. And then as you breathe out, extend the arms slightly and push the fingers towards the front. Number 6, again, you're going to breathe in, let the hands come into the body ever so slightly. And then as you breathe out, focus the energy into the wrists as you push down. And that should help you shape those yin palms to hold into that number 6 position. Number 7, breathe in, let the hands come in. Breathe out. Drive the little finger side of the wrist forwards as you begin to rise with the arms, and then you should feel the tension start to settle into position to start the next part of your Qigong. Again, with number 8, you're going to breathe in, let the hands drop, and then as soon as you're ready to breathe out, drill those hands and turn them all the way over, squeezing the elbows in as you push the fingers up and towards the front, and just turn those palms as much as you possibly can without creating too much tension. Okay, so from the side, I'll just show you how the hands move in case you didn't quite get it from the front. So from this position, from the standing 3-circle Qigong, breathe in, breathe out as you add the tension to the palms and just lift the palms up towards the ceiling. Breathe in, let the hands drop, and then as you breathe out, roll the wrists over into those number 2 palms, into that yin state in the wrists. Okay, number 3, breathe in, loosen off the tension slightly, and then breathe out and press with the palm towards the front. Now number 4, breathe in, let the hands drop again. This time you're going to drill upwards as you twist the forearms back into that number 4 shape. Number 5, breathe in, let the hands drop. A little bit easier because we're heading in the natural direction. And then as you breathe out, drive the fingers forwards as you increase the tension ever so slightly into the palms. Number 6, again, breathe in. And this one you want to change the focus slightly. So as you breathe out, drive the wrists out into that yin shape. So almost like you're feeling like your belly's expanding and you're holding it in. Now number 7, breathe in. drive the little finger side of the wrist forwards like you're doing 2 double chops, and then the fingers turn up towards the ceiling, and that will be number 7. And then for the last one, breathe in. And this one's going to be the most difficult because you're going to turn the hands all the way over, and then as soon as you're ready to increase the tension, breathe out, twist the backs of the palms up, and just raise up so they're in line with your eyes. And that's where you hold until the end of your Qigong. Okay, so as soon as you've finished number 8, we're simply going to breathe in, let the hands turn over, and then breathe out as the hands drop all the way down. You can release the tension in the legs and stand up nice and straight. The reason why the palms are set in such a way is because we move from yang to yin and vice versa all the way through the 8 palms. So there is a sequence to it. If you need more practice with some of them, then by all means spend a little bit more time, especially when it gets to like number 8. But the idea is that you need to be comfortable in these positions. At first you will feel it quite difficult, and this is the training that your body needs in order to develop the right channels for the energy to pass through. But over time it should start to relax slightly. You should find those positions much easier to get into, and hopefully you'll be able to go from palm number 1 to palm number 8, and you won't even have to break that meditative state. Remember to always match your movements to your breathing and not vice versa. And again, if you have any questions for any of these palms, please hit me up in the comments below. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. For the next one, I'm going to take you into some more advanced Bagua Qigong that's going to focus on both the yin and the yang side of the body. Okay, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.